Sophomore Tate Haynes and freshman Tyler Vrabel, two starters on this year's BC football team. Yes, their last names are familiar, and they should be. They are the sons of Mike Haynes and Mike Vrabel, two legendary New England Patriots. And as these two young men follow in the footsteps of their famous fathers, the football bloodline continues in Chestnut Hill. Mike Haynes is a Pro Football Hall of Famer who won a Super Bowl with the Oakland Raiders. After his first 7 years as a Patriot, Haynes never wanted to leave here, but he felt he had no choice.
I thought I would retire a Patriot. I'd live in New England even when my career was over. The owner at the time, Billy Sullivan, they say they couldn't afford to pay me really what I was worth. And I said, well, then let me go.
As a Patriot, Haynes won Rookie of the Year, saw his number retired, and was inducted into the Team Hall of Fame. Mike Vrabel is another Patriots legend who helped lead the franchise to their first 3 Lombardi trophies. These two men left their footprints on the Boston sports scene and are continuing to do so.
Mike and Mike, they're unbelievable guys.
Steve Adazio, very familiar with both Mikes. In his 7th season as head football coach at Boston College, Adazio helping to give those family legacies new life by coaching their sons, Tate Haynes and Tyler Vrabel.
It's funny. Each kid really you can see the reflection of their fathers and their father's personality in their kids.
When the head coaches your position, that's always a cool thing. Steve Adazio does a great job with the linemen developing them.
Being in the Northeast for 8 years, when I was younger, just really kind of grew on me, like not really knowing it at the time, but obviously coming back to it really feels like a second home.
New England was actually Tyler's first home. Born and raised here while his father was winning Super Bowls with the Patriots. Tyler was 8 when his dad moved the family to Houston to start his coaching career with the Texans. In Houston, Tyler attended St. Pius X High School and played football. And just like his dad, once he found the right fit, he was ready to rock.
You know, Tyler was under-recruited. You know, he kind of bounced around, transferred schools in Houston, had never played offensive tackle, and the coach looked at him and said, "You're going to be the left tackle." He said, "I've never played left tackle," and we started the process there.
Vrabel came in here, and he's got great feet, really athletic, really good measurables, loves football, tough as heck, and he's a redshirt freshman. He's in here starting right now.
Coming to BC was just, it was more of a feel thing for me. I mean, I had a couple other offers, but BC really felt like home to me. My decision was honestly pretty straightforward. I stepped on campus the first time and pretty much knew I was going to come to BC.
I didn't meet Tyler's dad officially until this year, and it's not something he comes out and says. He's like, "Oh, I'm the Vrabel." He doesn't say that. He's his own person, and that's what he does every day.
You know, it's a great place for him. Reminded him a lot of his high school. Catholic background.
Tate Haynes' football journey similar to Tyler Vrabel's, but with one big difference. Tate never saw his dad play.
You sort of know how good your father was, right?
Yeah. Big shoes to fill.
As a youngster, Mike coached his son in youth football. They lived in New England, in Connecticut, while Mike worked in New York for the NFL. But then they moved to San Diego, where Tate played quarterback at Cathedral Catholic High School and led his team to an undefeated championship season his senior year. He committed to BC and decided to switch to defense.
Tate came in here as a quarterback, transitioned to be a cornerback, and really is a gifted athlete. He has really grown up. This guy is really mature. His approach to the game is very mature. And I think you're just seeing the very beginning of a spectacular career.
I'm glad that he made the choice. He wanted to go there because they seemed to really want him. And that was important to him, and I understand that.
They were the first school that offered me, which was big, so they were the first coaches that I developed a relationship with.
For both Tate Haynes and Tyler Vrabel, having famous football fathers is anything but a burden. It's the coolest thing in the world.
I mean, it's pretty awesome. I'm sure Tate knows the same thing, but having an NFL dad is something not a lot of people can say they have. So
I gave him a hug and dropped him off and said, "I don't care if you block anybody or not, but try to finish."
Seeing how good of a player he was and all the extra steps that he took off the field really kind of impacted me, and figured if I'm going to be a good player, I got to do the same stuff as him.
Being that he played right corner and I'm playing right corner, I see myself as being one of the luckiest football players in the country right now to have my dad that I can ask questions about.
What's not to like about Tate? He's smart, is polite, loves people, he's humble, he's a great kid.
He is my role model, man, my inspiration, the reason I'm playing this game. We have such a great relationship now, even more so that I'm playing.
Tate Haynes and Tyler Vrabel, the legacies continue.
So let's start with Tate Haynes. I'm sure your house and my house are just like that, just nothing but compliments flowing back and forth. I mean, the relationship between dad and son says something right there.
Two really cool kids, aren't they?
Yeah, I'd like to see them now step up, and they got some time here to grow at BC. Yeah. But Tate, interesting to me that you said he was on a state championship winning team in high school as a quarterback, and he comes East.
Couple interesting things about that. So his father obviously was a Hall of Fame cornerback, right? He leads his senior year, his team to a state championship undefeated. He had already committed to BC after his junior year. So he was already committed to go there, held up the commitment, went there. I'm not sure, Adazio didn't say whether he recruited him as a quarterback or a cornerback, but he's playing cornerback now, which, oh, by the way, is his dad's position. His dad said he had wished he went to recruit for a school to play quarterback. He thought he was that good a quarterback. He may end up playing quarterback at BC before it's all overtime. Who knows?
See. Anthony Brown's in there now. He's got another year after this, and then who knows? Who knows? Now, listen, with the Vrabel situation, we learned from his dad that sometimes it's just right place, right time. You know, he spent years in Pittsburgh where it wasn't necessarily the best fit, but Belichick saw something. He brought him in here, and he said, this is a guy that's going to work for my system.
Yeah, look at Tyler's story. As Mike said there, you know, never played tackle until his senior year in high school when the coach said, you're playing left tackle. And he plays left tackle. Well, Vrabel, 4 years in Pittsburgh, third-round draft pick out of Ohio State. Belichick targeted him, and, oh, by the way, turned out to be the perfect Patriot, will be in the team's Hall of Fame eventually. I think their stories are very similar.
That'd be kind of like me looking at you and saying, okay, next Monday, you're going to be our meteorologist.
I'd kick Kevin's butt.